let's go out to Denver, Colorado, and talk to the great and wonderful Julie. Hey, Julie, what's up?
Hi, John. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course. Thanks for calling. What's up? How can I help?
Okay, so I have what seems like a silly question, but it's an important one to me. In my last couple of years, I'm not keeping friends or I'm not making new friends. I had like 3 core friends through the 20s, and then, we got married and had children and stuff. And then I actually lost one of my friends a few months ago. And I don't know if it's just a season of life where people don't want new friendships. I feel like I'm really putting myself out there and trying. And I don't know. I don't know if adults are too busy to have friends or if we're just done with that time.
So I would say this is the least silly question that you could possibly ask.
Well, I listen to your show, and there's much deeper questions.
Yeah, but this is, I think, one of the chief, like in 150 years when they're sifting through the rubble, this will be the story they told about how they created the most magic, incredible civilization, and people died of loneliness right underneath it.
Right.
And they went mad. They went stone insane, which is what our culture, I mean, look around. We've gone crazy. And you can say it's because of politics, because of the way people believe, and on and on and on and on, and businesses and BlackRock and blah, conspiracy, all that stuff.
Sure.
None of that happens on a bed of connected human interaction. It just doesn't. On deep, powerful friendships, it just doesn't. And so, but here we are. So I think what you're asking is one of the most profound questions of our age. And
thank you.
You're experiencing it in real time. And I also don't want to blow by. I think we've created the loneliest generation in human history. And that sounds cool, like on a bumper sticker. It doesn't sound cool when you're Julie in Denver. And you live in Denver because it's a young, hip place where everybody's like, hey, let's go hang out. And then nobody wants to hang out. And then I also don't want to blow by. Like, you're sitting in some deep grief right now. What happened to your friend?
Well, I actually live in one of the ski towns of Colorado.
Oh, so it's fight or flight. They're all there and then they're all gone. Yeah.
Well, and they're all like uber rich, and I don't know if I just come across as not wealthy. I don't know. Like, I rub them that. Like, I can't figure it out. So, first of all, I am married, and we've been mostly happily married for 13 years, and we have a 7-year-old. And
how old are you?
I'm 43.
Oh, you're in my boat.
Yeah,
You have a young kid, but you're 10 years older than most of your young kids' parents.
I am, and I look like a mom, and I look like, I don't know.
A poor mom.
A little bit worn.
You're ridiculous, Julie. That's ridiculous.
Okay. So back to your question. So I have a core 3 friends that were like my lifelong buddies, and we did all our 20s together. And then one of my friends got sick about 2 years ago and just went really quickly. She had actually 3 different craniotomies, and the last one was, I believe, in March, and she didn't recover.
Yeah.
And she died.
What was her name?
Well, her name was Kendra, and probably her husband or family listens to your show.
Okay.
She was very loved.
Yeah, she sounds amazing.
She was amazing.
Yeah. My hope is when my time comes, my friends will say, like, man, I lost an arm and a leg when that guy, like, that's, I mean, what more can you say about somebody? Family's supposed to talk good about you, but your friends, that's a different level. So that's she's amazing.
I think so. And I don't know what to do with that. Like, I don't know how to take her out of my phone, and I keep wanting to, like, call and
don't.
So I try to make connections, like at school pickup. And
hold on. Don't blow by that.
Yeah.
That's 2 different things.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something crazy, and people might think I'm nuts, but call and leave her a voicemail sometime.
Well, I think her husband would think that's a little nuts, but
he can call you and you can say, I'm a little bit nuts right now. Right?
You're right.
Or write her a letter and tell her about all the things that she's missing. And don't send it.
True.
But the I think there's this pressure to just everybody respond in a certain way. And some people respond by shutting down, and some people respond by they keep picking up their phone, keep picking up their phone, keep picking up their phone. And some people talk to people inside their own minds, and when they're driving down the road, they don't say actual words, but inside they're having a conversation with someone that they've lost. And so I don't have any problem with making the call. I don't have any problem with shooting a text message. I don't have any problem with, it's when it becomes a Hillary Swank movie and somebody sends a text back that we're like, okay, now we're in a problem. But no, I think your grief is going to be what your grief is. And then layered on top of that is that awkward, I promise you feel more out of step than you are in reality.
Yeah, that might be true.
You're not an ugly duckling, and you're not out of community with the people you live with, and all those things. In fact, they would probably love to have somebody with actual wisdom in some of their conversations.
Yeah, I would hope, but I try. Yeah. I try, and I'm like, oh well, that was a flop.
Give me an example of a flop.
So we started a new school for our daughter this year, and I went to the parent, get to know the teachers thing. And I really made an effort of reaching out to new families that said they were new to the area. And I gave out my phone number and said, hey, if you need a contact here, I'm available. I can tell you about some of the kid programs around town. And I just tried. And they looked at me like, well, we don't really want your help, and why are you talking to us? Is how it felt when I walked away. And I was like, well, I don't know.
And so what you felt was vulnerability. You did not feel reality. I don't think.
Correct.
And everybody in the new school is trying to get used to the air, and is our kid going to be safe, and who's this teacher, and who's this room, and who's this principal. And so it's kind of like when back in college, a buddy of mine would say, I have one friend in particular who went up to this beautiful woman in the middle of accounting and was like, hey, would you like to go out? And it's like, time and place, man. This isn't the moment, right? And so I think the next step, which is going to be, this is you feeling that vulnerability, those social anxiety alarms, and you going, oh, game on, and you go straight into them. But the next step is you reach out to them and invite them over with their kid over to play.
Right. And I felt like I was doing it in an appropriate manner.
I know. I'm being silly. I was
talking to people. I wasn't cornering them and not letting them free from the playground area.
Yeah, no. I totally get that. And there's just so many dynamics there. But there's something else at your kitchen table that humanizes everything. And especially, I can tell you'd be the person to be like, well, I'm the old 7-year-old mom. And everyone would laugh. They go, no, you're not. And then that bullet is out of the gun. It's out of the chamber now.
Right.
Now we're friends.
Right.
And now I can ask you, hey, I've been married 7 years. Is this normal? And you can go, no, it's not normal. Or, yeah, it's totally normal because I'm 13 years down the road. So it comes back to this core issue that I hear over and over. And I'm going to be honest with you. I experience it myself. I am an awkward friend, and I wish that I wasn't, and I don't mean to be, but I'm just awkward. And my friends who I've known for 30 years, they know, Delony just stands over there by himself at concerts. It's so weird. And Delony just thinks that joke is hilarious, and it is for sure not hilarious at all, not even a little bit. Or Delony just leaves. He just goes to the bathroom and he goes home, and he didn't tell us he was leaving. And I didn't even think about it because we were having a great conversation. I'm just going to go ahead and go home. And so they know that, but new friends don't. And so I'll tell you, there's only one path forward. Oh, let me before I tell you the path. What I've come to realize is me and everybody I talk to has this core sense, and you're expressing it in a funny way, but there's some truth to it. you almost feel middle school again. Braces.
Ew.
Do I look right? Are these the right jeans? And it's this core sense of what happened to my friends. And that's what our bodies do when we are alone. And to answer your original question, I think the hardest part of turning 35 was realizing that the friendships I had that were so meaningful and deep and powerful, and in my wedding in my 20s, like that guy got divorced and this guy took another job and this guy had 2 kids and this guy had no kids, and we just kind of faded out. And there is no manual for 35 and 45-year-old friends. It doesn't exist.
Right.
And so the only thing I've seen that works is just to go be weird. It just invite people over. And invite people over. And we, in our house, we've done it, and we've done it again, and we've done it again, and then boom, we ended up with a couple of really close friends.
Okay.
But it's as simple as knowing in our core, you and me, folks in our situation who moved to new communities at our age with younger kids, we're pretty cool. We're good. You know what I mean? Like, sure, we got some miles on us. Is that what you said? You got some weather on us or whatever you said? Sure.
I'm worn, a little worn.
You're worn. It's so ridiculous. Like you're a car tire.
We tried, soccer. So this is new. And I just remember sitting on the field being like, oh, man, this is boring. I don't want to be here.
Yes.
But I thought, I'll talk to some of the moms and, and families around. And I just stood there and I'm like, okay, no one wants to like make connections. They don't.
Yes, you're correct. And that is very, very true. Yeah. Until somebody does.
Okay.
Until somebody does. And I mean, the only other thing that I've seen effective, and this has been way more my wife than me, is to get involved in community groups. Like my wife's a writer, so she gets involved. She has a group of writers and they meet once a month, or a group of women who are coach professionals and she hangs out with them. She has a group from our church and they get together pretty regularly. So, but it was group based, and we all, it's everyone shows up to this thing and we all have this one common interest in common. Can we go from there? Because people show up to soccer games. You know this just by watching them. There's those parents who show up as this is like a pre-college workout program. And then there's the scholarship ROI parents. And then there's the like court-ordered parents. And then there's the kid just running around in circles looking for his game controller out in the middle of the field parents. I mean, everyone goes to soccer, but it's for 1,000 different reasons. Everybody shows up to jiu-jitsu for one reason. Everybody shows up to horseback riding for one reason. And so that's where I think you can get involved in some groups. And that sounds insane when you're the parent of a 7-year-old, because I am one too. Like the thought of having the time to go get involved in a group is madness.
Yeah, and we also have our own business. So my husband and I, our conversations are typically around our business or just life in general. And so I was looking for more of like an outlet of, I mean, I love my husband and he needs me to have a girlfriend in life too. So maybe a group thing.
The way you said that was incredible. And I know what you meant, but you said that awesome.
Thanks.
Ben,
I have a good life. I just want some more friends.
No, the way you said it was like, I love my husband and he wants a girlfriend. And I had to stop for a second. You said he wants you to have.
No, I'm sorry.
He wants you to have some other friends.
Me to have like someone that I can go do something with.
It's a very different call now. There you go. There you go. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Very different. I know grammar matters. No, he does not want a girlfriend.
What's your business?
We have like a mobile tire service.
Okay, this is going to sound nuts, and maybe you don't want to hang out with tire folks, but is there, I mean, and again, I'm stretching here, but is there some sort of barbecue that your husband throws at his house for families that are in small businesses or in mobile businesses, or some kind of something that picks up with whatever? Is there a group of moms of 7-year-olds that you can have over to your house, and only 3 are going to show up, and one of them is going to be so weird, and then the other 2 are going to be kind of normal, but they're not going to talk because of over there? And let me say this: the friendship thing is not hard because you're a bad person. The friendship thing is not hard because you're not worth being a friend, or nobody wants to be friends with you. I think the friendship thing is hard because we don't have a skill set. We don't have a roadmap. None of us were prepared for being 30 or 35 or 40 and realizing all of our friends had moved or taken jobs or had kids or gotten married or whatever. We are all by ourselves. And then our body starts screaming at us. Something as simple as, and Ben and I talked about this, we talked about this on this very show, about there's something about getting together and playing music with some friends. And these guys are coworkers, and a couple of these guys I've shared a couple of different years, which means we were in the same tiny little room practicing for months on end. And then we go have this like common mission, and each of us like screw up in our own little way on stage, and we all kind of laugh, and each of us like hit something out of the park on stage. It ends up being like a group of guys that I really respect and that I really like hanging out with and that I really like laughing with. And then I really like, so natural friendships develop out of that normally wouldn't have been there because we didn't have that common mission. So the two path, again, to wrap it up, the two paths forward, go be weird, go invite people to your house and consciously say, I'm not going to make this thing spotless. This isn't a Southern Living magazine ad. This is my friends. I'm going to have some friends over. And there will be some awkward interactions, and then there's going to be one or two magic ones. And then the second thing is start seeking in your local community to join some groups. And I know it's harder the more rural you get. That's harder the busier you get. But let's put that on the calendar. Hey, honey, I'm going to step away from family business for 2 hours a week to go do reading at the library with some friends or go to the knitting club or the whatever club. And he's going to say, I'm going to go to the fishing club or to the skeet shooting club or whatever y'all do. And begin to just put yourselves out there. It will continue to be weird because you're lacking skills and the people you're trying to connect with have no skills either. So it's a bunch of kids who have never seen a basketball game in their life, and somebody handed them a ball and 2 hoops and they said, play basketball. And they're hitting each other in the head with the ball, kicking it, bouncing off each other's face. I mean, it's just a madhouse until y'all slowly get the rhythm. And one guy's like, I think you dribble, and the other guy's like, I think you shoot. And so keep at it. My promise is there is friends out there. There are adults desperate for wise, funny, cool people like you, small business owners with 7-year-olds trying to figure out phones and dating and all that weird stuff. Man, they're out there. I promise. Just keep showing up and just keep showing up. And stop that ticker tape, that story that runs underneath your life that says you're not worth having friends. That story that keeps going and going that says you don't have any friends because nobody likes you. You don't have any friends because you're not worthy of being liked. You don't have any friends because. Cut that nonsense out because it's not true. It's just simply not true.